Hello team. So another little quick short video to do with equipment. And I do apologise if you can hear a bit of background noise. I'm near an airport, I'm near a racetrack, so there's an awful lot going on. And we have a huge garden with lovely birds in it and loads of nests, so you might be able to hear them chirping as well. So my apologies in advance for that. You might have noticed to the side of me I have a tin of peaches. Aldi's. Littles are Aldi's, I'm not that fussed. But these is a great thing to help with wrist strengthening. So if you're somebody that's a teacher or you're a student, and whether you're at home or you're doing stuff online or you're teaching online, introducing a thing like a simple tin can help with wrist structure and wrist strength. Because what I've found with my yoga teaching is that there's a lot of people that can't sort of hold downward facing dog for a long time because of their wrist strength or any sort of anything that involves their arms and their wrists they really struggle with. And if you're kind of, even if you don't have a tin of beans but you have a lightweight weight dumbbell, you'll get there in the end, you can actually use that in the same sort of manner. But I just want to talk about wrists to start with. Before we actually get into how we use this, I just want to go through a little wrist conversation. I think the best way to do it, the best thing to say is, now I have fear when I go to the gym and I see people behaving this way, and it's none of my business and I do not interrupt them because that's their journey. But if you are somebody that if you're somebody that's doing stuff on all fours and your wrists hurt, so you turn onto the side and the weight's not necessarily through your hands but you've got control, that's fine. However, if you need, within yoga, if you're going to be doing things and you need your wrist strength, but your wrists aren't very comfortable, you really shouldn't be doing this on your hands, and I'll explain why. So if we put our hands down on the ground and we think about moving through the shoulders and things, we can see they've got a lot of stability on the base of the hand, and the wrist is actually quite safe. We can move our arms and our shoulders and we're quite safe through the shoulders, and if we put the weight through them, we've got quite a big surface area to disperse that weight through the fingers. Now if we come onto our fingertips and we spread the fingers, again, although it's not flat, we've got that nice big weight. I mean, if your fingers are quite weak and you're not strong, this is a strength you perhaps need to build up. But again, we can move around, we feel quite safe, quite secure in that. Now, if we come on to our fists as such, for us to get straight arms, we're going to have to go right onto the tops of our knuckles. And on the tops of the knuckles, one, that's not safe because it's going to cause pain and problems through the base of the knuckle. It's going to make that quite inflamed. But also in this position, you've got only that tiny little point on the ground, so your wrists have got no strength. Your body's, there's no structure. So if you have to bring the rest of your hand out to the side, you can see you're going to have to move through an angle to get yourself there, which is not what you want. You want to have a straight arm in some of the yoga poses. So this is incorrect. And the same with this as well. If your arms, your weight floats back, you can feel that floating back into your shoulders, and your body will respond to how your arms do it. So the best way to do things when your wrists are uncomfortable is either have your wrists flat, come onto your fingertips, or have something underneath your hands so you can kind of grip them a little bit and you've still got that ability there. That's just a little thing for you. We're going to warm up the wrist quickly before we actually do the actual exercise. So hands, wrists, arms, all involved. So we're just going to link the hands together. I'm just going to push through and just have a little movement through the insides of the fingers there. Now, I work with energy healing, and we have I work with Chinese meridians as well as things to do with the yogic philosophy, and I work with all sorts of different philosophies, in fact. But a lot of the meridians start and finish in the fingers and the toes. So actually stretching the joints and moving through the fingers and getting the fingers working, give them a nice squeeze. It's going to be really refreshing energetically for you as well. So make sure you kind of open and close the fingers, get a nice big stretch, really open them up. Nice big breath in there as well. If we feel comfortable, we can bring the hands back and just have a little stretch underneath the arm. The straighter you get the arm, the bigger the stretch is going to be, but obviously just be very cautious when you're doing this kind of thing, because obviously we don't want to pull any muscles. You know, it's like when we hurt our wrists, it takes a long time to recover, and the same on the other side. And I'm quite flexible, so I can get my fingers quite far back. And again, we can put the thumb underneath the wrist and we can pull and open up the stretch here. What I will say is you might want to hold it for a longer time, you might want to relax into it, you might want to breathe. This is just a quick video, so I'm just going to give you some pointers so you can time it for yourself when you're doing it yourself, but just to open up and stretch. We can place the hands on the ground and take the weight backwards and forwards over the top of the wrists. And obviously this is already going to be taken out of your weight. This is your body weight, so make sure that you feel in control of the rest of your body, so you're not going to have to suddenly put the weight through your arms. We can try and turn as far out as we feel we can, or if we can, we're going to go all the way around. Obviously not everybody's got this ability. There's going to be people that are going to be here, which is absolutely fine. For those that can, you're going to go all the way around. You can just do one hand at a time because it might be too much. And a very gentle movement, not pulling. You can be stationary. To start with, it's probably best to be stationary, but for those that can, you're going to do a little bit of movement, and you do that with both arms as well. You can take the weight from one side to the other and then come back round, and then always move through your wrists. There are lots of other ways you can open up the wrists and relax the wrists and stretch the wrists. That's just some very simple quick moves for you. I'm going to show you how to use the tin. Okay, don't want it too heavy. We're just trying, especially if you don't do a lot of weightlifting, we want something quite light to start with, because believe me, the more, as you do it, you get more and more and more tired. So the first thing we're going to do is very simply just put the tin in the middle of our hands, palm facing up, and very gently we're just going to lift. Keep everything. You're going to might feel the bicep engage a little bit there, but it's just a flexion through the wrist, up and down. And you can do it slow and you can do it fast. You might want to slow as you come down, because that's when it's easy just to drop the weight and quickly up. A bit like with weight training, slow, feel that move, and quickly up. And I would say you can start at 5 to 8 and then take it to 10 to 15 repetitions, just as comfortable as you feel. But we can turn that over and we can do it in the opposite direction, because now we're using different muscles to lift it. Again, slow down, quick up. I say quick, I don't mean rush it, but I mean just take your time as you come down, because your gravity's going to want to pull it down, you're going to resist that, and that's going to help with that movement. We can put a hand on the top of the tin, as such, and just draw circles with the base of the tin. Just in one direction and in the other direction. This is quite a lot of work for the wrists, especially now because they're starting to get tired. So just limit it to 4 or 5 if you feel that's all you can do, and then build it up over time. Again, you can turn the hand over, and you can do the same again on the other side. Concentration face, and move it, and then release. And the other thing we can do is we can do figures of 8. So we can put it in a hand like we're just holding a cup, and we're just going to do figures of 8. Your arm's going to move as well, but really think about what your wrist, the movement through your wrist is the main point. You can try and go backwards. That's coordination for you. You can do it with a bottle of water. But when we put that down, I can already feel that wrist's had some activity. I can feel there's increased blood flow to my hand and into my wrist. So that's a really great wrist strengthening exercises. So if you're doing weight training, I mean, I used to pick up a kettle, and I couldn't hold the kettle up because I had no wrist strength. So it's really good just for everyday household things as well. Now we know about wrist strengthening things, I just want to do a little downward dog trick with you. For those that do this all the time, they're probably not that interested. But for those that this is a beginner's thing for you, and you don't really understand downward dog, and you have problems and your wrists hurt, a really good way to deal with downward dog is to come down and just kind of reach out in front of you, but just nice loose arms, so you've got that a nice space between the points. You're not reaching out too far. You've got that, but you're out far, but you've got your elbows down. Index fingers facing forwards, thumbs in towards each other, and spread your fingers out to the sides, kind of in line with your shoulders there. And you're going to come up and just dig your toes in. Now what tends to happen with new people when they practice down dog is they bring their weight over the top and they come up and they're kind of in this position. So you can see there's a lot of weight going through your wrists. But if you actually take your weight back and push as though you're trying to push the ground away from you, you'll feel your shoulders kind of lock into place. You want to rotate your biceps up towards the ceiling, pull your knees back, and keep that nice straight arm all the way to your wrists and come up. Keep your knees bent, bring your chest down towards your knees, and then work towards straightening the legs and moving through the body, whichever way feels nice. But as you can see, there's no weight over my wrists. So if you feel your wrists are under a lot of pressure, think about that. Think about coming back, pushing up, away, pushing the ground away, and see how you feel about it. In fact, a lovely thing to do is to come up and over the top, and then you can see where your point of distress is when you're putting the weight through the wrists. Be careful though, quite a lot of work on your shoulders when you're doing that as well. And you have to be in control of your core. So the down dog is not just about what's happening in the wrist, but because I've been working on wrist, I just wanted to give you a little bit of pointers to stop that pain in the future. Give it a go and see how you feel. Namaste.